really trying to like research and like look at stories and documentaries and stuff. I guess Brittany would just spend way too much time looking at it and like overthinking it.
That is so not what happened. I brought up my story and Andrea goes, "Oh, you know what that is? It's sleep paralysis." And I was like, why did she visit me? Is she gonna visit me again? Did I just wake it up again? Like, oh.
She knows that story. About,
That
like,
you had
with
one?
him and-
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely have had one too. So.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, did you see the hag?
No, I saw something else.
Oh my
Not
god.
like a thing, but I just know that I couldn't. It was like a dark cloud kind of just pressing on me. So I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. Obviously, I couldn't nothing. And I couldn't. It was to the point like you're trying to gasp. I was trying to gasp for air.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was me dreaming or actually awake that was gasping for air, or when I was finally able to like snap out of it, or whatever it is the word for it is, because I don't know if you snap out of it or not. Then I was able to like catch my breath, but it was definitely almost felt like dead weight, like somebody just was on top of me, but it was like a black cloud thing and just all the weight, and just it was horrible.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna go back to that story in a second, but I'm like thinking, I always think of my uncle. Uncle Lenny. I always think of him because he told me that he was getting tested because he keeps on waking up every single night all the time. This was like about a year or two ago, and he was like, I have sleep paralysis. Have you ever heard of that and stuff? And he just said he keeps on waking up in the middle of the night and he can't move. Like he can't do anything at all. He cannot move, and he got tested and stuff like that. He's never told me a story about that, but like that is really creepy and scary. What scared me the most was just the fact that I brought up the story with Andrea, and apparently thousands of people see this lady called the old hag, and I was like, oh damn it. Like I saw her.
An old hag.
Well, Claudio has seen her.
Yes, I remember
like,
you told me.
twice, and also I believe our friend Sammy has also seen it.
But Claudio's looked different and kind of like a nun, he said. Mine looked like a classic old woman who's ready to bake cookies, but she was very angry. That's the difference. So Marissa, just to give you a quick little background on my story, because it's really quick, it'll take 30 seconds. I lived in this really haunted 1800s house, and I did not go to sleep with the lights off for probably the whole time that I was living there. And I was sleeping one night, and my room was really cool. It was like green walls and pink walls. It was amazing. But in the corner, like I was dreaming, but in my dream I saw myself sleeping, and like I'm looking down at like my legs right now. I can see that. But I also saw the room exactly how it was. So I was sleeping, but I saw it how it was. And I saw a woman standing in the corner of my room, and she was just standing there. Her arms were down in front of her legs, and she was kind of like, she had her head kind of facing down but looking straight at me, and she was very angry, and I think she screamed or something, and she just threw her hands up ready to like aiming for my throat, it looked like, and she ran right up to me, and I literally woke up right at the right moment. But she literally did come right to me to try to like choke me, I guess, if that's what she was gonna do or something. But I always hear that people say it was like something was holding them down, and I think that's what she was trying to do. And that's when Andrea was like, oh, sleep paralysis, and I was like, Great. Thanks for the diagnosis, Andrea.
I'm sorry.
I did not sleep for 3 weeks.
I thought you watched that documentary.
I did. I probably didn't sleep after that either, but this is like a year or two later, and I give you my story, and you diagnose me. So.
I'm sorry. I love you.
So, but yeah, it's crazy that you say that, like, it's just so much pressure you can't breathe. I don't know. I'm so grateful that I woke up. It's just insane. I just don't know. I don't know how she or why she visited me, or I really don't know. It's crazy that you saw like a cloud. I think Claudio said he saw shadow figures, a bunch of shadow
Yeah, he saw,
figures.
like, a bunch of shadow figures, and then they also saw like the woman like in his face, just like yelling. Yeah.
I don't know what that old lady was gonna do to me. Like, now that I think about it, I always just brushed it off like a bad dream or something, but that's not normal. That's not a normal bad dream.
No.
We'll just be happy it only happened once.
Yeah, it has only happened to me once.
Just knock on the wood really quick, you jerk.
Thanks, Andrea.
All three of us have it
I'm
tonight.
I'm sleeping with all the dogs tonight.
No. Well, that's why that was the kind of funny part about Claudio's experience with the old hag, is because when that happened to him, he was sleeping with Homer next to him. So when it finally went away, he kind of like pushed Homer like, "Fuck you, man! Like, you're supposed to like
You didn't help me."
Nothing. But yeah, that's. Oh, I'm okay, guys.
I mean, there's things out there for sure. Like you were talking about a haunted house. Like I've also lived in a house like that, and it's freaky.
An 1800s house?
It's not. It was on it. So this was back in Guatemala. So I don't know how old this particular house was, but it was previously a school, and it was then turned into a house. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was a school, and it was turned into a house.
What?
Yeah.
That's scary. I think you win, man.
I don't know if there's.
That's one step above like a funeral.
Maybe for another like podcast, but it was a terrible experience as a kid. It was a terrible experience. Very bad experience.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we that's why when I moved into this house, I'm like, bless every corner, because I'm like, no, that school / turned into a house was a pretty bad. It was bad.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that on another episode, guys. I don't think I can take that tonight. Jesus. Nah, I'm sorry you guys experienced that.
That's all right.
The sleep
Gives for more stories for podcasts.
Yes. This is why it all happened right here for you guys.
Yeah. The universe knew I was gonna be here, so
eventually.
you're welcome.
Oh my god. That's so scary. I'm creeped out right now. We're gonna hang out for a little bit longer.
You guys want ice cream?
Well, yes. I'm gonna have some ice cream. Comfort. Wow. Now I just have like images of like what I imagine like a UFO or like all that kind of stuff. Actually, on one last thing about the old hag thing. When I think of the old hag, I think of, I don't know, like you guys watching, I'm sure we watched it together. The Conjuring. The Nun. That's what I think of when I think of like an old hag.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think of, the Nun. That's why like that, every time I see that, that's the part that really creeps me out, because that doesn't look very nice at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's just the creepiest thing. You always hear stories about like when people are sleeping and stuff, and I think that's just the scariest thing, is like when things happen when you're just sleeping.
Yeah.
I think it's my biggest fear, to like have something standing at the end of the bed.
You're so vulnerable. Like,